What's happening, everyone? Back with a quick little video about another set of changes for the version 1.05 update. This time we're talking about Leo. Not a huge amount of things going on here. This is one of the just slightly rebalanced sort of things, but we'll explain what I think they're all good for as we go over all the little changes, significant or not. So the first group I want to talk about are just basic little consistency things, like the Rage Art has a higher hitbox so it doesn't go under jumping stuff. Like, there's no point in really explaining that. It's just a little consistency. Heat Smash is the same thing. Prevents it from whiffing when they're at certain angles or distances because of pushback, etc. Not a huge, change we're talking about. But some of the parries, your back 1+3, your standard reversal, and your up back 1. These against right punches have a slightly different result, which keeps them in range for the follow-up, just to make that easier. Like that follow-up with your 2 button becomes a little bit easier because of the distance they changed or whatever it is. And the same thing is true of the up back 1 kick parry. They just adjusted the positions afterward, so you hitting the follow-up is easier. Not necessarily faster, but just consistent. That little position right there, the height or whatever, the way that he crouches was not consistent before. So your 2 parries a little bit better, back 1+3 into the 2 follow-up, and up back 1 kick parry into the 4 follow-up. Those are a little bit more consistent now. Some of the behavioral changes, one of the big ones is forward 3 now gains its airborne status way sooner. You can see it in the box of info down below, but it's not like you can count 2 or 3 frames or whatever. The whole point is this gains jumping immediately, so it does go over low. It's also true of your lightning glare string, forward 2, forward 3. Got the same ending animation. So those have jump status much more cleanly than it did before, which is kind of the point of these, Darth Maul cartwheel kick things. They go over lows. Your feet are off the ground. So they made sure that was a lot more consistent. You're going to get that counter hit versus lows a lot more often now. Your down 1 attack now on counter hit leaves your opponent standing at 13, which is pretty good for 2 main reasons. You can do up forward 1-2, that gets guaranteed. And if they don't back roll off of that hit, you can get a big shoulder for free. That becomes 63 total damage. They can back roll. They can't tech roll to the sides, but they can back roll. And if they don't, you have plenty of time to see, they're still on the ground, pop them with that big shoulder. 63 damage off of that counter hit. That's amazing. The other one is what you used to do before is you would hold down to stay crouched and then combo with, while standing 3. Here, you hold down to stay crouched and you do while standing 4, 1+2, and you get a heat engager. So you get 39 damage and you're +17 heat engagement. That's pretty cool. Do note that you're going to lose the wall splat. You will not get a wall splat from doing that move if you still have your heat available. So if the wall is nearby, you definitely want to stick to the up forward 1-2 part. Get your wall splat that way. And again, that didn't combo there. I was a little bit slow. He's just not set to block. So keep in mind, you've got a 13 frame window and it's exactly 13. You got to be ready for that. But that's a cool change. Instead of just being a regular combo, it's got a different function now. One is just a chunk of mini damage or go to heat engager route. Another interesting way to use your heat system. That's what the game should be about. Your character's toolkit should be using your heat in fun and interesting ways. Instead of just, constantly activating with 2+3 and just, mashing that shit, right? This is way better. Back 4-1. This string got added a cancel halfway through Tekken 7. You hold down to cancel that second hit. So that creates a little bit of a mind game, that she might go for this low or something like that, or just back off. I've seen a couple of these changes too, where you do have a string with a stance in the middle of it. And the idea is that finishing the string is a way to check that. Like if you keep doing this and cancel, and then you keep going for that low, and you keep going for shoulder or whatever, they're going to try to jab you out of that stance or something like that, right? Or they're going to power crush or whatever it is. So now when you got an opponent that's trigger happy on doing that, you just let the string rip. Because that second hit now gets a follow-up. You get 44 damage off of that. You can counter hit him on the ground. I'm not sure what else you can do. Big shoulder's the same thing as forward 2. That's probably about it. So that's a huge damage reward for letting it rip like that. And you got to kind of take the risk now, because normally this was used for hit confirming. You can see, he blocked before, so let me just cancel out of it. In order to do this, you kind of have to let it rip. You have to assume they're going to attack you and let it go. You're risking a -12 if you just let this fly, which isn't the best, but it's a new facet, right? Again, it's another way to use this stuff in an interesting way. Instead of just always relying on hit confirming and backdashing, now you got a chance to throw a little bit on the table and see if you can get some returns from it. I also think that's kind of cool. A little bit of risky for some cool reward. Keep them guessing. Keeps them unstable. They're never going to know which one you're planning on doing. Quarter circle forward 2. This has 2 follow-ups now. Both of them are natural combos. And the delay window is increased. You can put a pretty significant delay on both versions of it. So that's actually kind of cool because the first one, the one attack, has that. I don't know what you do there. I don't know if that's a pickup still. I don't know if you can run up and while standing. I don't know. I forget that part. But you get a delay now, which helps with that counter hit property. And the 4 kick now causes chip on block. And has gone from -11 to -4. I don't know why in God's green earth the mid version of that is safe and the high was a high and also -11. Beats me. But now it's only -4 and you get chip damage from that. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of an incentive to make them try to duck that now. The same thing happened when they gave Feng his down back 1-4 and 1-2. But Feng players are just doing the 1-4 like crazy because it was safe on block, right? They could just do it all day and all day and all day. But you start to duck it, and then they got to switch to the 2 to keep you honest. But the 2 is unsafe, right? That whole mid-high mix-up game that Tekken loves to do so much. So now you have, you know, a safe mid that you could do out of there. Or you have a high that they want to duck, right? They don't want to take that all day. So you can keep them honest with that. In this case, you're not risking anything. If you switch to the mid, you're still safe. And if they try to jam you up, that mid's a counter hit. So again, a little bit of extra function to something she already has to spice it up a little bit more. I think that's pretty cool. The rest of it are just some numbers. The back 2+3, the punch parry window of this is 3 frames slower now. It doesn't activate till frame 5. Just fine. You just have to parry a little bit quicker. I think sometimes that can be easier. A move that has a really instant parry window, sometimes you can do it too fast. And as soon as you see them flinch and you do it, it's too quick. So maybe 5 can help balance that out a little bit. Also, I'd imagine it was designed for a few particular situations where she could parry things way too fast. I don't know, it's hard to say. But 3 frames slower parry window on back 2+3. While standing 1+2 is now -14 on block instead of 15. So no longer a launch for this shoulder. 14, still pretty bad, but still a good move. It's not a move that I would completely like shy away from using. It's good. It's going to catch people a lot. You could use it in, you know, crouch dash mix-ups if you wanted to. It's on the riskier side, but it does work from time to time. You can't hit people with it. So your risk is a little bit less in doing that. So again, right, if you're not going to get launched, see what you do, right? Go for it one time at least. The rest are all reduced damage. This is part of the combo damage she was getting that was way too high. So you take away combo damage on the easy repetitive stuff, make her focus on the other options a little bit more. So while standing 1-4-1, that third hit had its damage reduced from 24 to 21. So 3 damage total. K&K 3+4. That has damage reduced from 27 to 23. Bach 1+2, the new Power Crush move, a damage reduced from 22 to 21, as well as the Grounded Stomp, down 3+4 on a grounded opponent. That damage reduced, base damage reduced from 22 to 21. So you'd see a wall combo that would use it. Like that. So you're getting 2 less damage out of that combo, which is, I guess, significant if it happens twice. I don't know, it's not a huge change, but it is a tiny damage nerf nonetheless. So that's it. Only things they changed are, say, a little bit less damage on the easy combo stuff you used to do. So they want you to focus on doing some other stuff, so they added functionality there. You get some new properties on your down 1, you get a new counter hit, you get some delayability in quarter circle 2, which is nice. It added flexibility. I think that's a trend you see a lot in this patch, is adding a good reason to use some of your other moves and options and reducing the reliability of just abusing the basic stuff. So that's it. Anything else? Post a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Couple more of these are still on the way, so be sure to check the like and subscribe and notify and all that good stuff to click on down below. And hopefully I'll see you in one of these next videos. Till then, later.